Hello, my dear Cancerians. Welcome to your weekly reading with me, Cindy. So, let's see how it goes. Unbeknownst to you, this is the second time I've tried to do this. And the first time, it reminded me a little bit of something I experienced during the Aries reading this week. It felt a little bit like radio silence, but I could almost hear like this mumbled voice from you guys of it's complicated. And so what I'm going to do, because I started doing your reading and it wouldn't flow, but then once all the cards were out, I could see. So I'm literally, if you'll be patient with me, I'm going to pull all your cards out in this reading. Give me a second to look at it, and then I'm going to talk about it. Because there's something about your energy, it's complicated. And I can't really give you an answer as to what this card means until I know what all of these cards are. If you know what I'm saying. I think you do. Because there's something complicated right now. It's complicated is all I can really hear coming through. So yeah, did I tell you what we're doing? We're doing your current and your future archetype energy for this week. So I have a new archetype deck. You've probably seen it on YouTube before. A lot of people use it. I'm going to use that one this week. There is an extended if you're drawn to it. The link is at the top of the description. And in the extended, I look at the energy in between your current and your future. So I'm going to pull these out. I'm going to show you what they are, but I'm not going to say anything about them until I get it all out. Because it's complicated. It feels like it's complicated. Your current, oh gosh, you got slave. Surrendering your power of choice to the divine with complete trust. Wow, interesting. Your future, pioneer. Passion for doing and creating what has not been done before. Let's keep going. Oh, you have a femme fatale. Light attributes. Highlights the erotic energy of the feminine. Opens your heart when your dependency is rejected. Interesting. I'm not... Oh my god, you have Don Juan underneath that? Oh shit. Look at this. Look at these two underlying cards. And look at both oh jeez. That is complicated. It is like the masculine and the feminine, like the femme fatale and the Don Juan. Well, I said I wasn't going to say anything. So, let me pull these out. Let me pull them out, Cancer, and let's see where in the heck. Pioneer. Whew. Pioneer, your current and your future. Going into my energy oracle deck now. I'm going to add to the current and the future archetypal energy. And then there are tarot cards to come out too for specific questions that I'm asking. Current. Third chakra. Confidence. I really feel confidence and balance in that area. Yeah, surrendering your power of choice to the divine with complete trust. That's a pretty big let go, huh? You have to be pretty confident to do that. Future. Magician in the mirror. Look at that. Right? The pioneer. Passion for doing and creating what has not been done before. The magician in the mirror. The pioneer. That's your future energy. Magic, man. That's funny. Because in the first attempt to do this reading for you, one of the cards that came out was a trickster, and it's got a magician on the card. And you got the magician in the mirror. See, I'm never worried about, okay, it didn't work, I'm going to do it again. Because I know whatever needs to come out is still going to somehow come out for you guys. But maybe I need to do a little bit of this. Surrender your power of choice to the divine with complete trust in your reading. I just got to really surrender. And well, that's kind of what I'm doing. By just getting the cards out. I'm hearing it's complicated, so keep it simple, Cindy. It's complicated, so keep it simple. It's also telling me I'm going to look at things very much as they are on the surface of the cards. It's almost as if I'm kind of being heard by the universe that something is complicated, so don't overcomplicate it. Look at the obvious. It's very obvious. The Father of Pentacles jumped out. All right, buddy. All right. Jeez. That's an interesting harvest. Okay. What have you been working on is the Father of Pentacles, the King of Pentacles. What have you been healing is the Son of Cups, like the Knight of Cups. What is starting to blossom is justice, balance in the karmic cycle. I'm hearing a completion to perhaps some sort of legal obligation or contract. So in the future, what will you finish working on is the Eight of Pentacles. It's really good because it's the work card, the Eight of Pentacles. So you're going to finish working on the work. What will be healed is the Seven of Swords. Something that is hidden, something that you needed to hide. Perhaps that is yourself or some sort of truth. And what will be ready to harvest is the Devil. I like that. It's like you own it. You're owning the Devil. Really like owning it. You're going to harvest it. If you're harvesting the Devil, who's the one in control there, right? Who's the one in control if you're harvesting it? If you're harvesting anything, the person doing the harvesting for the most part is the one in control. They may be limited to weather and conditions like that, but for the plant or whatever it is that's being harvested, it's the one in control. If you're harvesting this, I feel like you're really getting control over anything that makes you feel trapped, makes you feel confined, plays with your mind. Any negative energy, really. It's like any negative energy. This, okay, yeah, I'm going to read it. This is one of those readings where it's going to be a very intuitive reading because it's starting to come through already, guys. Wow. So, yo, there's some of you here, you have some sort of a spiritual calling that you're supposed to be fulfilling. It's a little bit like why you're here. This is a pretty deep reading. And I feel like it's also why I'm being told not to touch. Just try as hard as you can, Cindy, not to touch clarifiers. It's almost, to surrender your power of choice to the divine with complete trust. Combine it with the third chakra. It does tell me you have a lot of confidence to do this. You have confidence in the divine. You have confidence in your connection with the divine. If you don't, I'm kind of hearing spend some time meditating on it. Spend some time seeing if you can get comfortable with it. Seeing if you can get comfortable with it, right? This is not something to be forced. You're either hearing this or you're not. But this is definitely some sort of calling here. And with this Justice card, with things that are getting ready to blossom, I feel like, because I did at the beginning, it was like it's complicated. Maybe you are not able to fulfill some sort of calling that you feel guided or driven towards. Now this could be showing up in your life in many different ways. This could be just being like a visual artist maybe, or acting, or poetry, or oracle readings, or divination. Like there's a lot of ways that this could come through, but it's basically expressing through you, through your expression. You're almost like a conduit or a vehicle for divine to come through and communicate with the rest of the world. And with this justice blossoming, I feel like this is the universe correcting things to allow this to happen. So maybe you don't have enough free time to do this right now. You have to focus on, you know, what actually makes you money so that you can pay the bills and buy groceries and all those things you need so that your body can be safe and eat and live and grow. But you've been working on a foundation here with the Father of Pentacles. You've been working on it. And look at, what are you going to finish working on in the future? It's the Eight of Pentacles. It's the work card. It's putting the work in too. There might be something that you are either right now creating, or you feel some sort of calling, inspiration towards doing something. So once you get however long this future is for you, because it's really hard to tell with tarot. Everybody resonates a little bit differently, and everyone's path is a little bit different. But whatever work you're putting in now, it'll get to a point where it doesn't feel like work. It's just happening. It's just flowing. It just is. And it might be because part of the obstacles too are creating some sort of a plan that works for you. And what have you been healing? Interesting that it is the Son of Cups, like the Knight of Cups. Being able to move forward. Being able to move forward in your real energy. You know, the cup energy, the emotions, your intuition. Healing this. Perhaps it was blocked or damaged from past connections. This Don Juan and the Femme Fatale. Opens your heart when your dependency is rejected. Some of you too, like you may have been in codependent relationships. You may have been in codependent relationships. And there's definitely something playing out here between the masculine and the feminine. And look at this Don Juan. Like there is a masculine and a feminine there. But then in the Femme Fatale, it is just the feminine. But there is, open your heart when your dependency is rejected. This feels an awful lot like if you've been codependent in the past in relationships, particularly for the feminine. Okay, I'm going to read this two ways. For those coming to the reading that resonate in feminine energy, being dependent on others for things and using your sexual prowess to get this, your attractiveness. But it's either it's coming to a head or it has. And that, I want to say the Don Juan, the masculine energy, is feeling like, look at this devil. This devil, it's about to be harvested. It's about, the devil itself is about to be controlled here. You're about to control the devil as you move into the future. And these two energies to me are a little bit like the devil. Because they're not really going to have a good end result. I think it's funny that they both have a light attribute. I mean, it is good to highlight the erotic energy of the feminine. But something has to happen here that's a bit of a painful shakeup with opening your heart when your dependency is rejected. I think it opens you up to seeing who you really are and what you really have to offer. So this is coming in as part of what you've been healing. It opens up for you to really see who you are and what you really have to offer. You may actually be stronger than some of these relationship, like the strongest energy in these relationships in the past, but you downplayed it. I need to be dependent. I need to be dependent. I need this person to feel like I depend on them. That makes them feel stronger. You know, whatever is playing out or was playing out in your mind. Now the Don Juan. So now I want to talk about this for anyone coming to the reading that resonates with more masculine energy. So spotlights your positive, seductive qualities. Now, it's interesting that it's showing these two people dancing, because we know in traditional dancing, men lead. I have to say, I've always had a problem with that. It's just like, just letting go and letting them lead. But see, it's bringing that to mind here. There's definitely something playing out between masculine and feminine energy, Cancer. And it has something to do with things that you've been through in life. And you are releasing an awful lot of this internal, emotional, and psychological, I want to call it baggage, to find a sense of personal freedom for yourself, your confidence. Because what's really been blocked here in these connections is who you really are and what your strength really is. You shouldn't have to diminish yourself so that someone else can rise up, or someone else can feel better or more confident about themselves, right? I think that's interesting, because I think that is something that, I mean, more masculines coming to this reading may not even realize that, but women do that all the time. They do it all the time, and they're taught to do it at a very young age. So I think this is really interesting, because, and I want to say too, that boys may also be taught at a very young age that they need to take control, that they need to be the ones leading, that they need to do this, that she needs to be dependent on me. That's what makes me strong. And when you think about it, like, roles like that don't necessarily bring to light what your strongest attributes are. Gosh, this is an interesting reading, Cancer. So I am going to look at the shadows on these. For the Don Juan, using the power of romantic attraction for private agendas. Putting on the romance, putting on the romantic flair, like the masculine. And then this can play both. I'm going to look at actually both these shadow attributes as what masculine or feminine energy can actually be using. And I don't think people use this intentionally to cause pain or problems down the road with relationships. I think it's programming, and I think it's programming that's gone on a long time. Well, that's interesting. It's kind of interesting that I've already done a reading here. Because as I'm saying that, I immediately got a visual of the cards that came out in the first reading that just didn't flow for you. And it was the Lovers, the Hierophant, and the Son of Swords. And what was interesting is the Lovers were pointing this way, the Hierophant was looking at the Lovers, and the Son of Swords was coming towards the Hierophant. The Hierophant was being attacked from two sides. The Hierophant was being attacked from two sides. Because this Hierophant energy to me is a little bit like that. Like establishing some sort of a protocol about what men should be and what women should be. So the shadow attribute on the femme fatale, inappropriate use of sensuality, attachment to money and power. Now you can look at this too, and you can think about this on a very primal level here, right? Like a feminine, I mean, just biologically is the one that knows that they're going to be looking after the child. Now, I know that there are a lot of single dads out there too that are absolutely amazing and spectacular. So I don't want to downplay that, because society does come into play, and there are obviously, this is not a hard and fast rule. But if we look at the biological aspect of what a lot of feminine may think about is, can this person provide? Will my offspring have advantages in life? So it is a very primal, but if we only look at it in a very linear way, I don't think we allow true connections to come together, like true divine connections to come together. So being the underline, I often say the underline to me is the reason for the reading. It's the reason we're all here. It's the reason we've been pulled in. It's the underlying factor. So I haven't talked about the underlying really all week, but I could not help but see the femme fatale and the Don Juan sitting there. That is just too crazy. And your underline in the reading that I didn't successfully finish because it was so... You had the Door to Romance upright in the Energy Oracle deck. And then you had the Broken Heart in reverse. And on the other side of that, you had the Angel of Love. What was so interesting was you had the Angel of Love and the Door to Romance bookending the Broken Heart. And right, and then here you had, it's almost like I recorded, I did that for a reason. Like I needed to do 2 readings for you. That's what this was. There was so much to come out here. I needed to do it twice to pull it all together. And then here, and bring it to Hierophant. The Hierophant is possibly a reason for the brokenheartedness. I think this is coming up for a reason. It's something that I've noticed myself. Oh yeah, I know. I've been getting, the Oakmen have been nagging me to do a reading. And I've been so busy. It's like, sometimes I think, oh, there must be someone else that has more time than me. Like, why me? But, and I'm getting this message. There's definitely, we're coming to some sort of a crossroads in our human and evolution, societal evolution. Societal evolution is taking place in different levels all over the world. So whoever is, most of the people that are coming here, I know are, I believe it's in this order, the US, the UK, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and then it scatters. So that's where the majority of the views come from for me. Now, you are surrendering to the power of the divine. That's what you're doing here. You are letting the divine guide something. What's so fascinating is a lot of people will say, well, the Hierophant is divine. No. The Hierophant is not divine. The Hierophant, you could look at it and say, that's what mankind has created to reflect divine, reflect divine order, to try to claim it and ground it here on earth. It's churches, it's institutions, it's protocol, it's rules, it's laws. And yeah, I am aware we need them. We do need them, but I think they need to be changed more often than they get changed. And you are surrendering here. I feel like you're letting go. You're releasing anything that is expected by society and how the masculine or the feminine should act or behave. And I also want to say the majority of people that come to my videos, the majority are, I believe, between the age of like 45 and 55. And then I think the 55 to 65 group, and then it goes into the 30 and then the younger. And I know I get younger readers, and I love that because we will find that the younger generation is already becoming more and more aware of this being kind of toxic. Like not necessarily how things should be done. So you're really doing something here. You're really changing something on the dynamics of yin and yang energy. Oh, it's so funny. I just watched for the first time the movie Mulan. And that's a really good, actually, example of what it is that I'm feeling in this reading. Mulan. I mean, the chi was so strong with her. And her father really loved that, but, and it's not to say that it is the masculine suppressing feminine, or it is the feminine imprisoning masculine either, you know, like with these codependent connections, because her father really, he had a smile on his face every time she was doing something, like there was like, look at the chi in her. But then all the old women would look, oh, and then he would, okay, that's not bad, we can't do that. But she ended up saving like the empire and the emperor. Oh, she ended up saving the empire and the emperor. So, and it was recognized that her chi, it was okay for feminine to have strong chi, to have strong magic. The magician in the mirror, right? The magician in the mirror. Really interesting reading, Cancer. This is a totally Mulan reading, guys. The pioneer, light attribute, passion for doing and creating what has not been done before. Bringing some sort of balance here. This is like this, and when I talked about the Oakman briefly, it was because I feel like there's something that they want, some sort of message that wants to come through. And this is reflecting that. And I have a feeling if I don't do a reading with them soon, it's going to start bleeding through everybody's readings. It's going to start coming through. That's funny. Did you hear that? Did you hear it? So, if, I don't know, I forgot that the sound is on my phone. And it was always like a horrible sound. It used to scare the crap out of me. So I downloaded, it's a singing bowl. It goes boom. And it just went off. So it's something. You're doing something, Cancer. You're up to something. And I feel like it's really good energy. And even for those that come to this reading that are masculine, I feel like some of you also are like the father and even the young men. If you haven't seen Mulan, I would recommend it. It was pretty good. I know some people don't like Disney, but I at least appreciate that they've really started to change the depiction of the masculine-feminine relationship. So definitely like the masculines that are either the father figure, kind of knowing that, you know, that chi is okay. It's okay to let the feminine take the reins sometimes, to see what creative exploration can happen by doing that. And then those that fought with her, those that are in her age group, they were the ones that stood up, you know, when they wanted to kick her out and shame her for having lied to betray herself like a masculine, like a male. And they stood up and said, no, we believe her, because she came back to try to save the empire. So it's a very interesting reading. And it does also a bit of that Joan of Arc. Because Joan of Arc, I guess, in a way, is kind of similar to the Mulan. Yeah, it's so weird. Like, I didn't see this coming. Maybe in a way it is complicated. I mean, it is complicated. Because this is wrapped up in such a tight package with so many layers over so many generations. Whew. So, I love that you're going to harvest the devil, though. I just see, like, stringing him up by his short and curlies and, like, owning that bitch. Totally owning that bitch. It's beautiful, really. It's pretty powerful. So what will be healed is the Seven of Swords. Hiding your chi. Oh, damn. Look it. There's a sword, right? Mulan had to hide her chi. Hiding your chi. Hiding your magic. Hiding your power. That will be healed here. You will not be hiding that. What will you finish working on? The Eight of Pentacles. The web. The web. In the center of the web. You're about to catch ideas. That's what I'm hearing here. When you move into the future, you've been creating something. You're still creating it. And it's like a web. And as you move into the future, you will finish working on this. So it's like the web will be completed. And what do webs do? But they catch things. I feel like you're going to be catching ideas. You're going to be catching new inspirations. Because you're going to be pushing some sort of... You're going to be transcending, changing belief systems, out how people look. Yeah, this is really... You're going to be catching ideas. That's all I can say. The web will be completed. And you will be catching ideas. The Magician in the Mirror. With this balance, I like to say that this is air and water and fire. And he stands on the ground, so he stands grounded. So to me, we have the 4 elements sitting here. Grounding the passion. Grounding the intuition, the emotions, the feelings, the thoughts, the inspirations. Grounding all of that here. I want to put clarifiers on the devil. I love that you're going to harvest that bitch. Harvest it. That was probably the best description of how to clear devil energy. You're going to harvest it. You're going to harvest it. Stringing it up, gutting it. Too, it's like once you look inside, there's nothing to be afraid of. I mean, that's really where the devil energy is. It's inside all of us. It's thought process and belief systems that we've created that imprison us. You could not have pulled a more appropriate, profound card for how you're going to string up the devil. The Empress. Oh man. There you go. This is totally a Mulan reading. It's totally like the Empress. But right? So why can't the feminine do what we think masculine should do? And why can't the masculine do what we think feminine should do? I mean, it does happen. As I mentioned, like, I know that there are single dads out there, and that's kind of what they're doing. They are absolutely doing that. But on even more dynamic levels now, like, wow. That's just, I can't believe you just pulled that, like the Empress. Is how you will harvest the devil. The divine feminine will truly be free here. The divine feminine will truly be free. I don't feel like, and too, on a personal level, whatever this devil could be to you, I don't feel like you'll ever have to put up with that again. Because you will not hide your chi. You will not hide your chi. This is an interesting reading. Wow. Okay. So, I'm going to go do the extended. Wow. That is something, Cancer. That was really a cool reading. Yeah, I'm going to go do the extended and see what sits in between here now. I don't know how this is going to read. Because some of the questions I ask are, what are your personal challenges? Distractions to be aware of and areas to focus on between the current and the future. So I'm going to go try to dig that out and see where that goes. It might be just as unusual as this, or it may be more grounded on a personal level. I have no idea. So until next time, my dear warriors, be gentle with yourselves. Bye.